Sylvia, Doug, Rodney, and the family are seated at the dining room tables, heads bowed in prayer just as they were at the end of Act 1.
Lenore! Hey, Lenore!
Tony, what the hell do you think you're doing? He had fallen asleep in the backseat of the car.
We know. You have told this story a billion times over the years.
Sam, I've never heard it before. So, Tony's sticking his head out of the rear passenger window, shouting, Lenore!
Lenore! I love you, Lenore!
Will you knock it off? If my father wakes up, he's going to kill you. I should have known then and there he wasn't all there.
Too bad Grandpa didn't wake up and catch him doing that.
You know, it wasn't always there.
Oh, Pollyanna. 90% of the time it really was. You know, Sylvia, not only did we have to finish everything that was on our plate, but if we weren't eating fast enough, he'd hit our hands with a fork.
This is not the time or place, Midge. Please.
I don't get that. What did it matter the speed that you were eating at? I mean, why hit your hands with a fork?
Again.
Might have been a military thing.
Huh?
One time, 2 of my uncles were visiting for dinner. There was 1 piece of meat left. My mother and I didn't want it. Both uncles apparently did. My one uncle reached for it, and the other one, who had a long-time military man, said, if we were back in the mess hall, on the base, I would have the right to stab you in your hand right now for that.
Truman, I remember one year, Dad had taken me to the fireman's ball. He bought me a beautiful dress. I felt like a princess. He never looked prouder than he did that night, introducing me to all his friends. And we danced and danced and danced. It was one of the only times I wasn't afraid of him.
Lydia, why were you so afraid of him? He hardly ever hit you.
Yes, because I was always on my best behavior, walking on eggshells. Anytime Midge was hit, she seemed to act out more, as if to dare him.
Wait. What was Tony doing in the backseat of your car early in the morning?
His friends left him stranded at the bar the night before, and he needed a ride home.
So you dropped him off at his place, and a few hours later he magically materialized back in your car? Oh my God.
All the times, Ma, you told that story, and I never put 2 and 2.
Ew.
This is rich. You and Dad were always writing us kids about how to behave. Sex before marriage is a sin.
Oh my God.
I never had relations with a man I wasn't already married to.
It's okay to admit it. It's a different era. We are all now liberated and live our truth openly and freely.
Ain't that the truth? Oh, wait.
Is this why you want me to be a nun so bad? To somehow atone for whatever sins you yourself had committed in the past?
I will not sit here and be insulted in such a manner, in my own home nonetheless.
Nobody is here insulting you, Lenore.
Bullshit! If you must know, Tony had been drinking because, newsflash, he was in a bar. Pretty much everyone was drinking that night. Imagine that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Look.
No. I'm not done yet. If you all wanted an explanation, I'm giving you an explanation.
Mom, look, I'm sorry too. We all are.
Speak for yourself. After all the times Mom and Dad slut-shamed me, I want to hear the explanation.
Tony passed out in my car before he could tell me where he lived.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Let's just finish eating before the food goes cold.
Everyone resumes eating, but Sylvia will not let it go.
So what happened next with you and Tony? Like, how long were you 2 together before you got married?
It was a whirlwind courtship. After all, he was shipping off to go fight in the war. He was scared he might not come back.
It was pretty much overnight.
Don't exaggerate.
Sorry, Mom.
It was 2 weeks.
Wow, 2 weeks?
Again, there was a war going on. And not like the current war. Your generation likes to act like you all started women's liberation movement. But there's an entire generation of women who pretty much ran this country, while almost all of the men were overseas.
And then all the men came home.
And everything went to shit.
My mother, the prototype for Rosie the Riveter.
Oh please, she was an amateur.
Why is it that I feel like we men should try to escape now before these Amazons sacrifice us to the goddess,
Ma, look, the patriarchy is getting nervous.
Yeah, look at this sweat dripping down their faces.
And yet, none would be a suitable sacrifice to Athena.
Athena! I should have thought of that.
Though in all seriousness, it's a nice night out, and we should probably have a bonfire out in the back.
Just a regular bonfire, right? Not like some sort of ritual, right?
Howard, stop being an ass.
Okay, we men will go out and gather some kindling for the fire. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Let us venture out into the wilderness.
The men go outside to gather wood. Midge goes into the kitchen.
Ma, I think it's a good idea to let Midge anywhere near a fire, considering all the alcohol she's had today.
I heard that! The walls are paper thin in this house.
I know.
Midge emerges from the kitchen with some marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers.
S'mores! Does this family know how funerals work? Shit.
Mom will be fine. She's just confused. We've all got mixed feelings right now.
Remember when Tony would ask us kids if we loved him? And we were scared not to say yes? Of course. And then he would ask us why we loved him.
I told him because he was my father, and the Bible said I had to love him.
So we're still doing s'mores though, right?
Mom was saying a minute ago how the walls in this house are paper thin.
Tony liked it that way. He always knew what we kids were up to. We were never safe. You know how you keep saying we're all confused as to how to feel and react right now?
Yeah, it's okay. It's grief.
Stop. I am not confused. I am not processing anything right now. I know what I'm feeling, and it sure as fuck isn't grief.
Midge!
No, Lydia, really, stop psychoanalyzing me. You sound like Sam's girlfriend right now.
You take that back.
No, I'm not gonna.
Our personal feelings aside, this is about Mom right now.
Oh yes, Mom, the one who would rat us out when we misbehaved, knowing what Tony would do. Then she'd yell at Tony for hitting us.
She was as afraid of him as we were.
Exactly. She's better off now that Tony's gone. So I don't know why she's trying so damn hard to play the grieving widow right now. I barely remember her doing that for my father. No, instead she rushed into a relationship, turned my world upside down.
I'm sorry.
I don't have your compassion. I will never forgive Tony. I will never forgive the unforgivable. I'm not giving that asshole a free pass.
Not about giving him a free pass. Forgiveness isn't something you do for the other person. It's something you do for yourself.
Maybe someday I will be able to do that, but not right now.
I get it.
I'm sorry for comparing you to Sylvia there.
It's okay. I'm 15 years younger than you, so I'll get even when we're older.
Hey,
Well, when I'm older, and you're much, much older.
not so much for forgiveness.
Midge, I'm sorry. I did mourn your father's passing.
God damn those paper-thin walls again.
I married too young though the first time, and I was still really young at heart. And then I met Tony, a man who seemed so damaged, so hurt, and he was going to go fight in a war.
Sounds like one of those melodramas from that time period you love so much.
Yeah, and I got swept up in a fantasy. I really did. The music we listened to only heightened that fantasy. Bing Crosby, Ella, tie a yellow ribbon. I'll be seeing you.
Kind of how I feel listening to Rosemary Clooney singing White Christmas. Makes me think of the Christmases I wish we had when I was a kid. I always thought that if I one day became a mother, my kids would have the best Christmases ever, the ones I always wanted.
Gonna be hard raising a family and being a nun at the same time.
I don't know. It worked for Maria on track.
We got the fire started.
A little while later, outside, There's a big metal bucket by the stump. Everyone else is sitting on the floor holding sticks, roasting marshmallows by the bonfire. Kieran is sitting at the dining room table, huddled like a crying baby, rocking gently back and forth. The baby is Midge. The crying stops.
By the way, Doug, Rodney, do you guys know if shrooms can go bad or not?
Midge!
Sorry.
No clue.
Oh, well.
Something about a bonfire makes me feel kind of, I don't know, well, this is going to sound silly, but I'm not Catholic, but Joan of Arc.
Bonfires make you feel like Joan of Arc.
Yeah, I guess I've always related to her, really. She's a transcendent figure, going far beyond just a religious icon.
Just a religious icon?
Yeah, she was totally misunderstood and shunned by the very people she saved, and is burned as a witch by them.
Oh, so that's why you identify with Joan of Arc then?
Yeah.
I just assumed maybe you related to her because of the hearing voices thing. I hear a lot of therapists go insane after dealing with insane people decade after decade.
Most people who go to therapy are totally sane.
Unlike the members of this family.
Oh, don't get so touchy. I was just kidding. Yeesh.
You know, the Vikings used to have bonfires to honor their fallen warriors.
Remember the 5th of November. The gunpowder treason and plot.
That poem's not Viking.
Yeah, but it seems fitting for a bonfire, does it not?
Oh, Howard.
Yeah, I guess I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
My father used to love that poem. He used to tell it as a bedtime story.
Tad bit dark for a bedtime story, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think he really got the point, really. No, Kieran Dara Fitzpatrick thought that Guy Fawkes was the hero of the story.
What time is Lenore getting back from her night of debauchery with Brenda?
Mom, she's young.
That baby of hers is probably waking the neighbors.
Relax, I got this. I'm telling little Midge a bedtime story.
Oh no, not that one you used to tell Lenore and Finn when they were children.
The kids love it. Guy Fawkes and his companions did the scheme contrive to blow the king and parliament all up alive. 70 barrels lay below to prove old England's overthrow.
But by God's providence, him they catch, with a dark lantern lighting a match. A stick and a stake for King James's sake.
If you won't give me one, I'll take two. The better for me and the worse for you.
A rope to hang the Pope, a penneth of cheese to choke him, a pint of beer to wash it down, and a jolly good fire to burn him.
Holla boys, make the bells ring. Holla boys, God save the king. Hip hip hooray!
You know, Guy Fawkes is one of my direct ancestors.
Your family was Irish.
So?
Guy Fawkes wasn't Irish.
He and his friends were all Catholics who wanted to blow up the Parliament and a corrupt and vile English king who took it upon himself to rewrite the Bible.
So?
That sounds pretty bloody Irish to me.
Guy Fawkes was born in, I think he was born in York.
Oh, but Molly, that's just a myth. The history books don't tell you the true origin of Guy Fawkes because the English ruled the Western world for so long they were able to rewrite all the history books. And the English wanted to wipe out the accomplishment of the Irish.
And even if Guy Fawkes was Irish, what did he accomplish? He got caught.
And he died a martyr for the Catholic Church. He was almost made a saint, you know.
Okay, Kieran, okay.
You don't believe me?
You're hopeless. You do realize that, don't you?
Pope Alexander VIII was going to canonize Guy Fawkes in 1690. But then he was poisoned by somebody working for King James II of England. That's why his papacy only lasted a little over 2 years.
Really?
Quiet. You'll wake the baby. See? Little Madge is found sound asleep.
So she is.
Well, Doug and I really should be getting going.
Oh no, it's still early in the evening.
This is early in the evening for you?
Yeah, it's getting late. Lenore, again, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make the funeral tomorrow.
Oh gee, yeah, that is a shame.
I have to give a lecture.
Well, we all know how trying that will be for you.
See you tomorrow.
You know, Doug, Rodney, the dynamics between the two of you really interest me.
No, they don't. Again, good night.
Ed Sullivan's coming on in about 10 minutes.
Sylvia, you want to watch Ed Sullivan?
Sure.
Ma, again, I'm sorry about earlier.
It's fine.
You're Robin, I believe.
He's up late.
What is it? I remember when I was 9 or 10, I found an injured bird on the ground, a robin. I took the bird inside the house, asking Tony if we could save it. He took me to the library. We got a book on how to save the bird. He and I built a nest for it, got the heating lamp, and we did save the bird. I don't remember that at all. That was the one time where he really felt like a dad to me, you know. It's a nice memory. Yeah. You want to come inside and watch TV with the rest of us? I'll join you all in a little while. I just want some alone time. Okay, Mom. Mom, what is it?
Doug and Rodney. Worst kept secret ever.
Wait, you know about that?
No, what about them, my dear?
And they're well, you know.
And do keep in mind that they're not here to defend themselves.
Right.
I'm just glad Rodney isn't alone. He was a very lonely child, and it's just not good to be that alone.
No, I guess it isn't.
Well, Tony, you miserable bastard. Good night. Oh, Tony, I do hope you can find peace now. I hope if there is a heaven, you're there, and all the pain is gone. I really do hope that.
She then picks up the bucket and douses the fire before going back inside the house.
I got it. Can I help you?
Is Lenore in at the moment?
Yes. Is she expecting company?
No, I'm Tony's mother, Adelina.
Then come in, Lenore. Come in. Lenore, Tony's mother is here to see you. Adelina, Lenore. Lenore, Adelina. I must say, you look a little older than I pictured you. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to be rude. It's just that...
Hard to imagine someone my age having a 17-year-old son. Trust me, this isn't the first time I've heard that.
Well, it's very good to meet you.
And you?
Do you need anything? Coffee? Tea?
No, I'm fine. Not to be rude, but can I speak to Lenore privately, please?
Sure. I'll be in the kitchen. Just holler if you need it.
Thank you.
I was hoping to meet you by now, but
I know. Tony didn't want us to meet yet.
no, he didn't.
He has spoken very highly of you.
Thank you.
You are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I can see why Tony has become so smitten so quickly.
I love your son very much.
You sort of remind me of, well, me at your age.
Gosh,
And I know Tony loves you, very much in fact.
this is sweet.
He's actually going out today to buy you a ring.
What?
He has no idea I'm here right now. And I know he should be able to just surprise you, popping the question and all, but
He's proposing to me?
my God, when he does propose to you tonight, can you act surprised? Don't tell him I was here.
Yes, of course.
He's fallen hard, and again, fast.
As have I, but how I'll bring.
Can I ask you one more favor?
Sure.
It's a big one.
Okay, but
Say no.
excuse me?
When he asks you to marry him, say no.
But I love him.
I know. And you saying no will hurt him deeply.
I have no intent of hurting your son, but
Don't worry, I got this.
I know what this is about. You don't approve of me because I'm older and a single mother.
No, that's not it. I was once a single mother too. And I was older than you when I was one.
Then why don't you approve of me marrying your son?
I don't want to say it. I love my son. I really do, but he's not going to be a good husband for you, or for any woman, really.
Excuse me?
You deserve a man who will be loving and kind. A man who knows how to be a husband and a father. But Tony never had a good example to learn from.
What about Stan?
Stan?
Tony says Stan has been like a father to him.
Oh my God. Stan is the main reason I think Tony would make a horrible father.
I get that Stan might be a bit stern, but Tony seems to realize that's not the way to raise a child.
How much has he told you about his childhood?
Not much, really.
For example, do you know who Stan is?
No, not really.
I had Tony when I was really too old to have children. I already had a full-grown daughter. She's older than you.
So, what does this have to do with Tony?
I'm getting to that. Tony's father wanted nothing to do with us.
I have heard that.
I wasn't married to the man. I was maybe too much of a party animal. Then I had this tiny baby to take care of. My parents were long gone. I had no one really to help me raise him.
I'm sorry.
Some of the women in the neighborhood told me I had made my bed and it was time for me to sleep in it. They weren't going to help at all. I was working long hours, struggling.
It's horrible.
So my daughter offered to take Tony off my hands and raise him. I was reluctant at first. She was still rather young, unmarried, had her whole life ahead of her, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a mother all over again.
I've been married. I know what it is to be a wife. And I can teach Tony what it is to be a husband. And he's already met my child. I know I can teach him to be a father.
You are very sweet, but you are still rather young yourself. Love isn't always enough. Love can be a prison for a woman.
I get that. I really do.
My son tells me you and your mother have had issues over the years.
Yes, well, she does drive me off the wall sometimes.
And that you married your first husband as an attempt to escape your situation with her?
I did. I was a lot younger then. I could never put myself in her shoes. Having a child of my own has made me understand a little bit better, I think.
So then, you're not just using my son again to escape?
No, I'm not. I recognize that as annoying as my mother can be, she loves me and will always be there if I need her.
I wish I could have been there for Tony.
You did what you could. He still loves you.
I didn't do enough. My daughter's boyfriend, Stan, moved in with her. He was a Marine. He was always worried Tony would end up being too soft or a sissy, and he brutalized my son as a result.
Well, Tony isn't a bird.
He can be. He sometimes has violent mood swings. When he gets mad, he can punch holes in walls or smash things. These violent outbursts don't last long, but they are scary.
realize that.
When he was in 3rd grade, Stan forced Tony to drop out of school.
He told me he was planning to go to college when he came home from the war.
Tony wound up working odd jobs, always being paid under the table, because Stan expected him to earn his keep. Tony also used to love reading when he was younger, but Stan felt books were girly.
Stan sounds like a monster.
Stan never saw active combat, but he was hardened. I don't know what he was like before he joined the Marines. Maybe he was always like that. Who can say? But my boy is going to see active combat. I'm terrified he's going to come home and be just like Stan.
I don't mean any disrespect, but then why did you ever allow Tony to join the military in the first place?
Because Stan was so hell-bent on him joining. And I'm scared of that man. He doesn't live under my roof. I have barely had a relationship with my own daughter because of how hard a human being he is. But he scares me.
Maybe we can figure out a way to keep Tony from going.
No. As much as I fear what Tony will become, this is his best shot of getting out of his sister's house. The best shot for him to get away from Stan. And if he was to stay there any longer, I think Stan would kill him.
Metaphorically or...
Look, it was very lovely meeting you. I hope I haven't upset you too much. I really should be going.
I'm glad we finally met.
I know it's not my decision whether or not you marry my son. I do think you needed to know what his life has been up till now, though.
Yes, I'm glad you told me.
I have a feeling you're still going to say yes.
I'm not sure. I've been caught up in what was basically like a fairy tale until 20 minutes ago.
I get that. And maybe he won't be as bad as I feared. Maybe having a wife and a family waiting home for him would be a good thing.
Perhaps. Again, I really am not sure. I probably won't know what my answer is to his proposal until I say it.
Yeah. A mother never wants to betray her own child. And now I feel almost as if I have.
You haven't.
You are lovely.
As are you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It is well into the evening. There's a big bowl of popcorn on the dining room table now. Midge is now playing bartender at the wet bar.
I'm serious. Look it up. I'm right.
Everything all right? We heard you doing something in the kitchen just now. Need help in there or something?
No, I was just...
Sylvia, honey, I love you, but you're probably going to have to side with Midge on this one.
Suit yourself. I know I am right. And the two of you are so wrong.
Lydia, your mother looks tired.
Yeah,
Think we should all clear out?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she wants everyone to stay or not. Gotta be weird being in this big old house by herself. It was always so noisy.
Still is.
Midge, can you keep it down a little? You're making enough noise to wake the...
Nice choice of words.
Okay, Mr. Remember the 5th of November.
Touche.
Shit, what was that?
Probably just the house settling.
I think it came from the attic.
It's probably just the squirrels again. You can hear the squirrels in the attic from all the way down here.
Paper thin walls and survival instinct.
As explosive as Tony's mood swings were, we always knew it was coming. We'd hear it before he came into the room.
Gave us some time to prepare ourselves.
Dad was probably bipolar. You didn't know what that was back then.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you should be diagnosing people with actual mental disorders if you're not, well, a professional.
I'm a professional.
She meant a therapist.
No.
Children, play nice. I think I'm gonna go in the kitchen and make us all some tea. And I don't want to hear any fighting while I'm in there.
What's she gonna do? Tell Dad?
Now, Sam, I don't think that was an appropriate thing to say to your mother. Now apologize to the woman.
What?
Samuel, I will not tolerate it when you are exhibiting toxic masculine behavior.
Toxic what?
The way you're being right now could be seen as some red flag, and I will not have it. I will not have it.
Sylvia, though I do appreciate your parent concern for my feelings, I do think his joke was harmless.
Oh no, it wasn't harmless. He's showing microaggression here, and this needs to be addressed here and now. Sam, stand up and apologize to your mother and everyone else in this room.
Sylvia!
No, Sam. Do it! Do it! You're embarrassing me!
Seems to be doing a fine job of that herself.
Sylvia, can I have a word with you in the kitchen?
Just as soon as...
Mom, sorry for badly ill-thought jokes here. Everyone else, sorry for the scene.
Good dog.
Sam, you are going to dump that creature now, aren't you?
She's always like that. I've gotten used to it.
Sam. Well, Howard, can you hear anything?
No.
I do not like this. I do not like this.
So the paper-thin walls don't always work?
Howard, not so loud. Mom will hear you and realize we're all eavesdropping.
What, they only work one way in?
Maybe I'll put some poison up there in the attic tomorrow.
Midge, you can't poison the squirrels.
Why? Because they're cute?
They are.
When they're outside where they're supposed to be, they're cute. Yes, but once indoors, they are rodents.
I remember one night I couldn't sleep. I heard something outside in the yard.
I wonder if it was that creepy shoemaker looking for a place to bury a body.
Tell me, what is it? It was Dad sitting outside in the backyard beneath my window, sobbing.
Dad? Sobbing?
Yes. Mom had gone out to see what was the matter.
Shit, I just fucking wanted to be alone. That's why I fucking came out here.
You're screaming in your sleep again.
Look,
I'm worried about you. What's going on?
Just a recurring nightmare I've been having.
Like a run-of-the-mill nightmare, or...?
No, just something I wish I could forget, but I can't. It keeps replaying through my brain. I've had this happen before. It's been happening more frequently now, and I can't make it stop.
Might help to talk about it.
I saw men die. I saw grown men bleeding to death, crying for their mothers, but this goes beyond even that.
I love you. I want to help in any way I can. Please, talk to me.
We were driving our tanks through a village. Hundreds of people were cheering for us.
Must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was. Like it was such an awesome feeling, the intensity of it. The men and women were crying tears of joy. Children were dancing around. The Nazis had been defeated. The town had been liberated. And we were throwing candy out to the children in the crowd. I didn't see that. There was one child, the gun too close to the tank. And then...
The child was crushed by the tank.
Lydia, I had no idea you heard that. Your father...
He seemed so relieved after telling you that. And for the next few months, he was like a different man.
Then the nightmare started again.
I just think if he had a release like that more often, where he could just let go and feel and be soft and not worry about having to come across to some stoic hero, he'd been a happier and better man.
Probably.
It's getting cold out. Let's go back inside. I'll warm you up some milk.
Mom, where's Sylvia?
She's just regaining her composure, I guess.
What did you do?
We just had a little chat, that's all.
Sylvia, you all right?
It's all a lie.
What is?
All of it. It's all a lie. My whole life.
Lenore takes the bowl of popcorn from the table and places it on the floor.
What the? I'm alive. I'm married. I'm made of fairy dust and cookie shit.
Sylvia begins eating out of the bowl like a dog.
It really is sad, isn't it?
When the stork dropped me in the cabbage patch, he dropped me on my head. But that really shouldn't have been a problem, for see, I was born without a head.
Would you like to sit down or something?
No, for that would hurt my little pea-sized brain that fell there when the stork dropped me on my non-existent head.
So the stork dropped you on your neck?
See, this big melon thing that sits atop of my broken neck? That is the bump caused by the stork dropping me the wrong way in that cabbage patch over there, where the cabbages grow in unicorn poop, rainbow poop, cloppity pop pop clop.
It's gonna be fine, dear. It's all gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yes, because the mothership is coming for me, and I will be reunited with the Knolts and their cows. Yes, Betsy's to heaven. Look, I'm sprouting wings. I'm a bird. I can fly. Papa, I'm a bird.
Mark opens the front door, and Sylvia runs off into the night, never to be heard from again.
And people say our family's crazy.
Mother, what did you... how could you...
A magician never tells her secrets.
But you had no right.
Trust me, Moose. One day you'll thank me for this.
I would thank you to stop calling me Moose. You have heard how it makes me feel, and any decent human being would...
You're right. I'm sorry. Sam, with that long feminine haircut, you're parading around with, I'm sure there are far more suitable nicknames I can come up with for you.
Where's the tea?
Pardon?
You said you were going to make us all tea.
Oh, there wasn't enough. Sorry.
I would just like to say something. I love every single person in this room.
Oh shit, she's going to kill my buzz.
Midge, quiet.
Grandpa Fitzpatrick always used to brag that we descended from a long line of survivors. We were druid priests chanting and casting spells among the ruins in the mountains of Ireland.
She remembers all those stories you used to tell.
We were lords and royal consorts for centuries before a peasant uprising. We set sail across the Atlantic Ocean to find a new life for ourselves. We were pirates and bandits, and we persevered.
The pirate thing is a new touch.
I like it though. Could be true. Could be true.
You keep telling yourself that.
And Guy Fawkes was totally an Irishman.
Right on.
Oh, brother.
Our family eventually made its way to the wild, wild west of the United States. We went from being royal nobility to cattle thieves. But again, we persevered.
I remember when my parents first came to this country. They went to live with my father's cousins. Everywhere they went, my parents were spit upon. My father couldn't find work. Just about everywhere he went, there were signs. Irish need not apply.
My grandmother was an indentured servant for a while when she first came to America.
But despite all the odds, Dad started his own furniture moving business. And he made a success out of it.
And you made an even bigger success out of it when he died and left you the company.
Aye, Molly. We owe everything to that man.
We do. And Dad's side of the family was also a family of survivors. His grandparents came to this country not speaking a word of English.
Everywhere his grandfather went looking for work, there were signs that said, Italians need not apply.
Both sides of our family
Attained the American dream.
That we did. That we did.
Mom, I admire your strength. Remember when the price of milk was raised and you led a neighborhood-wide boycott?
Yeah, and the price of milk went down.
Midge, your sense of humor. I wish I had your ability to tell a joke. There is no one who can do better than you. And Sam, your talent, your paintings are beautiful. I wish I had a fraction of that talent.
Thank you.
Everyone in this room has been to hell and back again, and I'm proud to have survived that journey with all of you.
Adelina, that is the craziest thing I have ever heard. St. Patrick wasn't an Italian.
Oh, yes, he was. And unlike you with this Guy Fawkes nonsense, the history books actually back me up on this, old man.
He's Ireland's patron saint.
Yes, I will acknowledge that, which makes it even more ironic that he was Italian, Italiano.
He was born in Ireland.
No, he was born in Scotland.
You take that back.
I'm out of here now.
He was kidnapped and sold into slavery and sent to Ireland when he was 14.
Fine. Still wouldn't make him Italian.
His parents were members of the aristocracy, so probably Roman.
My ancestors had a castle in Ireland before the Romans invaded.
The name he went by was Patricius, his Latin name.
That doesn't mean a thing.
That was a beautiful speech you made that.
Thank you. How much of it did you mean? And how much of it was the shock at the Greek speaking in your place?
Midge!
And now, I would like to make a speech of my own, straight from the heart.
You have one?
Go on, Mom.
I recently learned of a great German expression. Ich fühle mich jetzt genug besucht.
What does that mean?
It means I feel visited enough. And I love everyone in this room. But ich fühle mich jetzt genug besucht. So, I will see you all tomorrow morning at the funeral. Good night.
Good night, Mom.
Hey, you guys want to come over and watch Carson at my place?
Lydia?
Yeah, I think we could do that.
Cool. See you in a few. Night, Mom.
Night.
But one thing I know I want to do differently from my parents.
Only one thing?
Fine. One of the many things I want to do differently from my parents.
Sorry.
Yes, better. Go on.
My siblings and I were never encouraged to dream. Despite their many talents, Sam and Midge were never encouraged to follow their dreams. Their talents hidden from the outside world.
It's sad, but you realize you're just as talented as they are, right?
What are you talking about?
The way you reach for a piece of scrap paper and begin doodling whenever you're on the phone.
I do what now?
You don't even realize you do it, and the sketches are quite good.
Well,
And when it comes to sense of humor, you can walk into any room, anywhere, and start a conversation with anyone. Make them laugh. That is a real gift.
Well, I would hope any child we had would pursue their dreams with a passion. I would hope to be more encouraging than my parents were, you know?
You're gonna make a great mother someday.
And you're gonna make a great father.
Sam?
I'll see you in the morning.
Wait up.